All right, everybody, Aussie Army, Aussie Deb, OG Team, and anyone who just happened to wander into this video, how we doing today? It's a nice day out. It's actually got some sunlight. It's around 40 degrees, so it's been a cool change from all the super cold temperatures we've been having. And speaking of cool changes, the always amazing Aussie Deb has suggested that I react to a song called "Cool Change" by John Farnham and the Little River Band. Now, this song is actually about it's a dry southern Australian cold front, I believe. It was selected as one of the 30 or the 30 greatest Australian songs of all time, and was also given a certification by BMI for I think 2 million radio broadcasts in the United States. So it's very successful. I think the song was originally performed and written by Little River Band's original singer Glenn Sherrick. I think I'm getting that name right. Let me know if I have not. But this version is from 1983 and features none other than John Farnham on vocals. So always a good time for some more John Farnham. So without further ado, I've heard plenty of John. John is one of the patron saints of this channel, but I don't think I've ever heard him with the Little River Band. So this is going to be fascinating. So let's do this, guys. Let's dive into some cool change.
Thank you very much. If there's one thing in my life that's missing, it's the time that I spend alone, sailing on the cool and bright clear water. There's lots of those friendly people showing me ways to go, but I never want to lose their inspiration. Time for a cool change. I know that it's time for a cool change. And now that my life is so prearranged, I know that it's time for a cool change. Well, I was born in the side of water, and it's there that I feel my best. The albatross and the whales, they are my brothers.
Love that lyric. The albatross and the whale, they are my brothers. Um, any kind of imagery involving the sea or the ocean just has this. It's a combination of like vastness and tranquility. You're content with being a part of something that you know is much, much larger than you, but helps to bring life. Uh, John is one of those guys who seemingly has always had it. His voice has always been there. Stage presence has always been there. You can hear the crowd behind him already when he starts singing. The song is called "Cool Change," but you can see he's noticeably sweating just because he puts so much into every performance. It's interesting because you know he can reach those high notes with ease, but he has this way of reaching for them that makes it sound like it's a grand effort. It's a struggle. It just makes it feel so emotionally charged. Um, it's something that's being, every time he hits one of those notes, it feels like a triumph, like something has been overcome. Um, and there was some distortion coming into his voice, a little grit, and it's hard to tell whether he was just sort of adding that intentionally or if it was just coming because he was like pushing into his voice so hard. That's I don't think that's terribly healthy. Uh, he doesn't do that very often though. Like usually he's pretty specific about how he uses his grit and his distortion, and that's why he's had such a long, successful career and has maintained that voice into his old age. Um, and I also hear he's doing very well in recovery. voicing his own audiobook. So I'm actually going to start this over again because I love what I heard. And yeah, we'll keep on going. The vocal harmonies that entered there too were just great. It's a chill song. It really is.
Thank you very much. If there's one thing in my life that's missing, it's the time that I spend alone, sailing on the cool and bright clear water. There's lots of those friendly people showing me ways to go, but I never want to lose their inspiration. Time for a cool change. I know that it's time for a cool change. And now that my life is so prearranged, I know that it's time for a cool change. Well, I was born in the side of water, and it's there that I feel my best. The albatross and the whales, they are my brothers. It's kind of a special feeling when you're out on the sea alone, staring at the full moon like a lover. Time for cool change. Time, it's time for cool change. Time now that my life is so rearranged. Time, it's time for cool change. Well, I've never been romantic, and sometimes I don't care. Well, I know it may sound selfish, but let me breathe the if there's one.
Sorry to cut you off there, John. So the instrumental of this song, the bass line in particular, it sort of has this it sort of feels like it's almost moving like a wave. It has a sort of a gentle pulse to it, like the ocean. Um, the drums sort of add to that, just a groove. It's got a very gentle groove. Um, and that saxophone definitely kind of adds to that. And I grew up in the 80s. The song is, I think, was started in 79, but this performance was in 83. But yeah, there were a lot of saxophone solos on songs. And now, me personally, I'll always take a wailing electric guitar solo, but there's something about the sound of a saxophone. And I think it's appropriate for this because, you can hear the air in the sound, which conjures up images of the wind across the ocean. It's a song really about connecting with nature, sort of feeling the changes and embracing them and enjoying them as a part of life. I think that is something that is missed. Uh, it used to be if you wanted anything, you had to go out. You had to go out into the world. If I wanted, music, obviously I could listen to the radio, but I have to go out to a store and buy a CD. If I wanted to watch something, I had to go out to a movie theater or rent um, a movie. And nowadays, there's so much that can just sort of be beamed into your home. Um, and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of really positive things about that, but you don't have that urgency or that need to go out into the world, and I think that's a bad thing. Um, I I used to love walking just because again I had to get anything, but I just love walking. Sometimes I'd have headphones on, sometimes not. Sometimes just take in everything, just taking the breeze, taking feeling the difference between the fall air and the spring air, summer air and the winter air. It's yeah, it's I think people need to rebuild their connection and their harmony with nature because it's always going to be there. And the interesting thing about John, like his performance here, he's not um, reaching out to the crowd physically like he normally does. Like the showmanship is not here in this song, but he is just so connected to the song itself. It's his you know performance there that I think is that's what's putting out the energy. Whereas you've seen some stuff from him later when he had his awesome mullet and whatnot, where he's just riling up the crowd and pointing people out and interacting with band members and just going all over the stage to put that energy out. Here he is lost in the song, but he in doing so he's charging up the song so its energy can reach everyone in the crowd, which is a beautiful thing to see and to hear. So let's continue.
One thing in my life that's missing
I'm gonna back
is
up.
the
Sorry.
time. If there's one thing in my life that's missing, it's the time that I spend alone, sailing on the cool and bright clear water. It's kind of a special feeling when you're out on the sea alone, staring at the full moon like a lover. Time for a cruel change. Time for a cruel change. And
Wow. So amazing performance from John. Um, a couple of things I wanted to mention about the song. The backing harmonies. Like they started off as pretty simple, just support for his voice, but then they kind of branched off and they had their own like counter melody, and they were really full, really fully developed harmonies. Danny and I were talking about how that type of harmonization was very common like in the late 60s and 70s, and sort of went missing. And that's a great example of a perfect use of that. It's a beautiful sound, just that harmony. So just like the harmony of nature, and John's voice over that, it alternates between sort of the uh, serene contentment with being a part of nature, and then kind of like being awed and overpowered by it. Um, I might be just sort of reading into things, but I think that's one of the great things about music is it will it will enter you. It will enter music will enter everyone differently through a different path, through a different port. So yeah, that's it's really cool that there's essentially a song about a weather change, and they were able to make it something profound like that. Um, and I mentioned wailing guitar solo, and I got one. It was short, it was brief, but it was really good. Guy wasn't in a hurry. He didn't need, 20 minutes of sweet picking and whatnot. There were some really nice runs in there. And in the end, with the whammy bar vibrato and the volume swells, gave me some Jeff Beck vibes, which will always get 2 thumbs up for me. So, yeah, this was a beautiful song. I would like to hear more from the Little River Band. Any excuse to hear more of John? Here we go. So, Aussie Deb, I hope you enjoyed this. Aussie Army and OG team, I hope you guys did as well. Honestly, I hope everybody enjoyed it. But yeah, let me know what other Little River Band songs there are for me to react to because yeah, this is that was really good. It put me in a good mood. So it's time for me to eat now and rest up for work, and then I got my 2 days off. So this yeah, perfect time, perfect mood. So thank you, Aussie Deb. Thank you guys very much. Mental health is real. Be a part of the start. Building back your rapport with nature is a good way to help your mental health. Just going for a 15-minute walk every day can do wonders for you. Um, music is your best support group. Uh, John's an amazing therapist. And yeah, take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Be seeing you guys around. Thank you so much for this.